Hi, this is Luke with the Gamer, and we're going to talk about how to get the S+ rank in the Resident Evil 4 remake. The Resident Evil 4 remake, just like its predecessors, times how long it takes for you to complete the game. Completing the game as quickly as possible earns a higher rating after the credits roll, along with some amazing perks for subsequent runs. Achieving the highest ranks, S or S+, require in-depth knowledge of the game and some impressive skills. Of course, it's much easier to earn a higher rank if you know what the requirements are to begin with. So let's take a look, shall we? While the requirements vary between difficulty settings, the most important factor in determining your rating is the in-game clock. The clock starts as soon as you begin a new playthrough and ends when Leon and Ashley escape through the mouth of the island cave on the jet ski. Anytime you load a previous save from the same playthrough, whether it's because you died or decided to start a section over, the timer will carry on without reverting. The highest rank, S+, also has additional restrictions that make it even more challenging. But note that if you want to get the S+ rank on any difficulty, you have to start a new playthrough without carrying over any equipment from a previous run. So let's get into the time requirements for each ranking. On assisted difficulty, you need to complete the game in under 4 hours to get an S+ rank. On standard difficulty, it's under 5 hours. And on hardcore or professional difficulty, you need to complete it in under 5 hours and 30 minutes. But professional difficulty also has the added restriction that you need to complete the game having saved 15 times or fewer. Getting an S+ rank on any difficulty is worth some serious bragging rights. The only way to pull it off is to ignore everything that isn't essential to completing the game. If you can escape a fight without killing every enemy, then do so. If you don't need a hidden treasure, then just leave it behind. It's best to avoid the merchant as much as possible, and to know exactly what you're buying and selling ahead of time when you do talk to him. Of course, you will need to do shopping so that you aren't stuck with Leon's starting gear for the whole game. We recommend limiting your treasures to those that can just be sold for full value without taking the time to inlay gems. And it's also worth ignoring all merchant requests, even the ones that are easily completed along the main path. Focus on upgrading your preferred weapons as much as possible, but save the rest of the cash for a rocket launcher, which you can use to one-shot Sadler during the final battle, immediately ending a long and drawn-out fight. Accessories unlocked on earlier playthroughs like the cat ears or chicken hat provide powerful buffs at the cost of looking slightly ridiculous, but they are allowed on S+ runs. Likewise, you can also put Ashley in her armoured suit that protects her from most damage and means you don't really have to pay attention to her as you make your way through the game. So use those extras to your advantage, as a single game over could keep you from getting the S+ ranking you desperately desire. And if you need to take a break for a variety of reasons, then make sure you go to the pause screen and not the inventory screen, as going to the pause screen stops the clock and lets you come back fresh and ready to keep going. It's really the only bone that the game throws you during an S+ run, so don't be afraid to use it. So there's our advice on how to get the S+ ranking in the Resident Evil 4 remake. Thanks for watching, and check out thegamer.com for more.